Hello, friends. Welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. It's that time of the year when we look into Arsenal's lineup next season. Last season, we actually got it absolutely right because we called Alexander Zinchenko at left back. We also called Gabriel Jesus into the center forward position, and the lineup was pretty much perfect. But of course, this season, we're going to see a lot of changes, especially in midfield. Xhaka is leaving. Thomas Partey could potentially be on his way, and Jorginho could be making way as well. What would Arsenal's midfield look like next season? How will Arsenal line up with transfers? Of course, we're looking at a new right back. Benjamin White could be shifting into the centre back positions next season. That should be put into mind. But Arsenal also looking at a centre back, and Edmund Tapsoba is such a very interesting shout. If Arsenal sign Edmund Tapsoba, we could see Gabriel Magalhaes also dropping out of the starting lineup. But hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get this video to 500 likes. And in the comment box below, how many changes do you think Arsenal need to make to this starting 11? Of course, there is a constant that Xhaka is leaving, so that is already one change. But how many more changes would you love to see? Maybe Moussa Diaby in for Gabriel Martinelli. Maybe a new striker to replace Gabriel Jesus. I would really want to know your thoughts about Gabriel Jesus vis-a-vis strikers like Dusan Vlahovic, vis-a-vis strikers like Victor Osimhen. Do you think Arsenal maybe should be thinking about such a shout? Let me know in the comment box below. So how many changes do you think Arsenal should make to the current starting lineup to compete, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to put forward two teams, and this is going to be very different from what we did last year, because in all honesty, this is the first time Arsenal will have two complete starting 11s, independent of each other, side by side. It means that every single position after this summer will have two players that can play at the highest level. You look at Aaron Ramsdale being backed up by Matt Turner. You look at players like Martinelli being backed up by Leandro Trossard. Edin Ketia maybe, and Gabriel Jesus is not a lot of quality, but of course those two will be backing up each other, and Reece Nelson, who has just signed a new deal, will be backing up Bukayo Saka. So we're gonna be going with a super 11, and then we'll be going with our second 11. I'm telling you something. Our second 11 is better than what Mikel Arteta inherited in 2019 when he came in at Arsenal. So let's get into the party. Let's see how Arsenal could line up with transfers in this coming season. Now, in goal, Aaron Ramsdale definitely stays there. He's just signed a new deal at Arsenal. He's a very brilliant goalkeeper, very young goalkeeper. I've seen a few reports claiming that right now, Aaron Ramsdale is the most valuable goalkeeper in the world. I think his valuation is around £80 million. I'm not really sure about that. Arsenal fans and Arsenal accounts, they throw anything out there. But I'm going to argue in his favor that he has massively improved Arsenal. He's massively improved his game, no question about that. But what a spot by Edu. What a signing by Mikel Arteta. And this boy, who's only turning 24, is one of the few players that just give me a lot of confidence. It gives you confidence in that Arsenal goalkeeping department, that whatever happens, Arsenal no longer concede stupid goals. Of course, there are a few times where I felt his positioning is bad. His timing has been poor at times. You look at the Kevin De Bruyne goal that he conceded in the second leg of the Premier League. He should be keeping that out. You look at the Southampton goal that we conceded, and also the goal against Brentford in the second leg. Though such goals, I think he should be able to keep them out. The goal for Jared Bowen in the West Ham game, second leg 2-2 draw, he should be able to keep those goals out. But generally, he's such a very good player, and Arsenal are very lucky to have Aaron Ramsdale. So we'll stay in goal, and we expect him to be in goal for the whole of the season, Premier League and UEFA Champions League. Right, so at left centre back, this is where I'm making a few changes. I'm going to go with Edmund Tapsoba. If he signs, right, we're looking at potential a potential lineup with signings. Edmund Tapsoba, in my opinion, would be a much better fit than Gabriel Magalhaes, on that left-hand side with Alexander Zichenko. And this is my argument. Don't get me wrong. Gabriel has been sensational, like really sensational. Very good. Played almost 38 games in the campaign. Guy doesn't get injured. He's pulling, players down. Pulling Mitrovic down. Pulling Erling Haaland down. Pulling all these other guys down. But we've got to be honest. There is some liability at our left-hand side. You see, when you're playing a player like Alexander Zichenko, whose main responsibility is tucking into the midfield, then you need a top-class centre-back on that left-hand side. That's why I wanted Milan Skriniar. That's why I really want Milan Skriniar. Because Skriniar is the best defender in the Italian Serie A, like facts, but then he's such a formidable centre-back, okay? But Edmond Tapsoba, the fact that we've scouted him for such a very long period of time gives you the vibes that Arsenal know what they're talking about. He's a strong centre-back. I think he's physically stronger than Gabriel, and his decision-making is much, much better than Gabriel Magalhaes, okay? So I would definitely say that Edmond Tapsoba, we could see Edmond Tapsoba, coming in for Gabriel Magalhaes. Of course, Magalhaes has just signed a new deal, and it would be quite very absurd if he dropped out of the starting lineup. But look at Manchester United and what they're trying to do. They're trying to sign Axel Disasi or Kim Min-jae to replace Rafael Varane. Rafael Varane is like a world-class centre-back. But just imagine Lisandro Martinez alongside Kim Min-jae or alongside Axel Disasi. That would be a really strong centre-back, pairing. And that's what we need to do. If you get Tapsoba in alongside William Saliba, then it would be massive for me. So the other centre-back is William Saliba, who has been a revelation of a player for us. Now his new deal is also in the pipeline. We are talking about a deal that could cost Arsenal over 190,000 per week. I think there is nothing to do with William Saliba. Arsenal really got it wrong. We should have tied him down to a long-term contract before the season ended, before the start of the season. The moment he agreed to come back to Arsenal and get integrated into the squad, that is when we should have gone, okay, you've said you're coming back. How about a new contract worth 100 or 90,000 pounds per week? But now that he's shown that he's at the levels of the best young centre-back in the world, as Man United bring in Kim Min-jae, William Saliba has done whatever Kim Min-jae has done this season in the Premier League. We've got to pay up. We've got to cough the money. But that look, let me know, what do you think about that centre-back pairing? Edmond Tapsoba, solid, strong, quick, very, 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 physical. And then William Saliba, the guy we know, very fast, very quick. He's intelligent, and his ball playing abilities as well are very, very good. Actually, Saliba and Tapsoba's ball playing abilities are quite, up there. And I think Mikel has always been looking for that centre back that is very, very good on the ball. Remember last summer, we almost signed Lisandro Martinez. We almost won the race. Man United, of course, pulling off some, mojos to get the deal done. And now we are also linked with a couple of other centre backs that are very good on the ball. There might be something there. Let's wait and see. Now, at right back, Joao Cancelo. This is a deal that many people feel is very difficult, and on my side, I really feel this is a very, very easy deal for Arsenal to do. Very, very easy. Joao Cancelo, and it would really revamp our creativity. It would step up quality in our creativity. You look at Liverpool and how much they get from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Actually, one of the reasons why Liverpool's season turned around, yes, you will give credit to the likes of Darwin Núñez for always, pressing, running, and trying. But Trent Alexander-Arnold's resurgence in the last part of the season just made sure that Liverpool are always going to be a better side, and they were a better side. So I think that's what Arsenal need. Ben White has done very well on that right-hand side, but in my opinion, I would prefer and this is respectively, like very, very out of absolute respect, I would prefer a player like Joao Cancelo. I would prefer a proper right back. Now, I would have put Ivan Fresneda there, but you can't fight with Borussia Dortmund for an 18-year-old player. They're always gonna beat you. It's gonna be a knockout. Your teeth are always going to be left in the ring. So I think Ivan Fresneda will go to Dortmund, and Arsenal will be left with two options. That is such a boy at Galatasaray, who we are fighting with Brighton for, and then Joao Cancelo. Cancelo's deal makes a lot of sense. Experience. It can be an initial loan deal. He's such a very good player, very versatile, can play on the left wing and on the right wing as well. Left back, right back, left centre back, maybe not left centre back, but inverted right back and inverted left back as well. So Cancelo for me is such a very good shot, and I would love to see him in the Arsenal side. And if Arsenal sign him, definitely he starts ahead of Ben White. On the left hand side, it's definitely Alexander Zinchenko. There is no question about that. He's been very, very good for us this season. Zinchenko is one of the best left backs in the Premier League, and this is not a hot take. This is not a give or take opinion. This is facts. Alexander Zinchenko is one of the best left backs in the Premier League. There's no question about that. And his leadership at such a young age, he's just coming into the prime of his game. And I'm telling you, Arsenal will win a major silverware with Alexander Zinchenko in the team. I don't care what we will win. It could be the UEFA Europa League. It could be the UEFA Champions League. It could be the Premier League. But Arsenal are destined for greatness with players like Alexander Zinchenko. His mentality is top bins. He's one of the players that understand the game. He understands the mathematics of the game. He understands, what you've got to do in every situation. And I think with Arsenal, we are so lucky to have such a player because how many players can do what he does? How many? I've seen, Mikel Arteta trying to play Thomas Partey on that right-hand side and then him tacking into midfield. It's not working. Alexander Zinchenko is a player of his own making. So for me, that back four next season is highly likely. Maybe the one change that I would see, I might see maybe Tapsoba not being in this team, but Gabriel Magalhaes, and maybe Joao Cancelo not being there, but a new right back. Now, moving into the midfield, this is where we're going to have a lot of changes this summer. We are expecting 3 arrivals, a minimum of 2, a maximum of 3 arrivals in midfield. Jorginho is going back to Italy, according to reports. Thomas Partey could potentially be leaving because of issues off the pitch, and we are also hearing in rumors that Lokonga is up for sale. Okay, so with Partey, Xhaka, Lokonga, Jorginho, all potentially on the market, how would our midfield look next season? Now, look, at the heart of midfield, there is only one player I want there. This is a no-brainer. It's Moises Caicedo. There's no other player that I would prefer Arsenal to have at the heart of the midfield other than Moises Caicedo. Caicedo is a top target for Arsenal, a top target for Liverpool, a top target for Man United, and a top target for Chelsea. What does that tell you? That tells you that we are looking at once in a generation talent. We are looking at the new N'Golo Conte. And I think Chelsea have just looked at Moises Caicedo and have gone, this is the guy, right? With Enzo Fernandez in that team, Moises Caicedo could just allow him goal levels, right? But also Arsenal, with players like Martin Odegaard in the team, Moises Caicedo, the security that he offers, his ability on the ball, his passing range, his ability to always be there as an option, Martin Odegaard would be going levels, absolute levels. We've seen the best of Martin Odegaard when Partey has been at his best, okay? So a player like Moises Caicedo, only 22 years of age, would massively improve this squad. So Moises Caicedo at the heart and base of that midfield. Of course, Declan Rice is on the left-hand side. I don't know how I feel about Rice playing here, but I'm not going to complain too much, okay? I'm not complaining too much. Declan Rice playing at playing on the left hand side of our midfield. Okay, that is how it would look like. Definitely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So Rice, according to what I've heard, Mikel Arteta plans on making him a box-to-box central midfielder, more of a box-box than a defensive, midfielder, a defensive a DM. And he's also planning on improving his game so that he can score more goals, just like you've seen Xhaka this season, and maybe create more chances. Can Rice do that? Probably not. I'm not really sure. But Rice and Caicedo guarantee us a safety in midfield. They might not give us that kind of quality in terms of going forward. Rice's dribbles are fine, but his through balls and all those things need to be worked on. But the security, the physicality of Caicedo, the physicality of Rice is something that I'm really looking forward to. Even if it's just Rice and Partey, I'm looking forward to that. Because look, I want players that have the fighting spirit. Rice has that. We saw him fighting until the end for West Ham, winning the UEFA Conference League in the 90th minute, plus added time, okay? So he's got the fighting spirit. Moises Caicedo, very physical. And then you have the brain in midfield, who will be Martin Odegaard. Potentially, we're hearing that he's going to be winning Arsenal Player of the Year. We will be doing that video, of course, who was Arsenal Player of the Year, ranking every Arsenal player this season, okay? But Odegaard in that midfield, a 4-3-3 formation, very, very similar to what Manchester City have in Ilkay Gundogan, Rodri, and Kevin De Bruyne. The difference here is that our midfield would be less creative as compared to that of City's. Now, up front, I don't expect big changes. I don't expect any changes to happen. I actually think Martinelli will stay as the starter on the left-hand side. This is going to be quite a no-brainer. It's been sensational. 15 goals this season for Arsenal with 6 assists. There is no reason to drop him. There is no way we actually drop him. Saka, who has been the second best player at Arsenal, according to how the fans have voted on the Arsenal website, remains as our main right winger. And Gabriel Jesus, hopefully he doesn't pick up an injury, should have his first full season in Arsenal colours. Now, he scored 11 goals for Arsenal this season without even playing the whole season. I think he missed around 4 months. December, January, February, and March. Okay, he missed around 4 months, but he scored 11. So there is a debate that if he had played the whole season, probably could have hit maybe 15, maybe 16, and that would have been that would have made another big difference for Arsenal as well. So that would be our starting 11. But guess what? In this season, in the upcoming season, Arsenal are going to have 2 starting 11s, and we're going to be looking at our second 11, how it would look like, and why I think in terms of squad depth, we will be absolutely sorted. So we're going to be running through it very, very quickly here. In goal, definitely it's Matana, who has been, I think he's a good is a good backup goalkeeper. You want your backup goalkeeper to be able to play in those games where maybe Ramsdale should be rested. I think Tana is that guy. He's not a bad goalkeeper like I had thought first. At first, he's quite a good goalkeeper, right? So Matt Tana in goal. At right back, because Cancelo is now there, we could definitely go with Tomiyasu. I think Tomiyasu is a player that will stay at Arsenal. A few links here and there that he could leave, but I think he will stay. He will be staying there. He will be staying at Arsenal. So let's go with Tomiyasu at right back. Right? Okay, Tomiyasu at right back. Left back, definitely. I think Kieran Tierney could go. Could go. So if he goes, Arsenal have to sign someone, or Joao Cancelo then can double, or Tomiyasu can double as a right back and left back, okay? But for now, I'm going to put Kieran Tierney because there are no concrete reports indicating that he's leaving anytime soon. The 2 centre-backs that would be kind of reserve centre-backs, we would have Gabriel Magalhaes, which is a little bit very harsh, right? Like it's so harsh on Gabriel Magalhaes, but I think if you want to go levels, if you want to you know increase the quality in the side, then you've got to be ruthless. So Gabriel Magalhaes, in my opinion, would be playing at left center back in the second team and alongside Benjamin White. This is crazy. How our main center backs could become backup center backs. This just means that Arsenal have really gone up a very high level. So White as well. That would be the back four of the second team. Now, in midfield, obviously, if Thomas Partey stays, Partey remains. Partey forms the midfield best of the second team. Alongside him, Emile Smith Rowe. And I think Emile Smith Rowe needs a lot of. He needs a lot of game time to get back to the levels where he's been. Okay, and Fabio Vieira. Fabio Vieira, this is his season. This must be his breakaway season. This is the time for him to shine. If he doesn't shine in this coming season, it's going to have a lot of debate whether he's good enough for the Premier League. Left-hand side, Trossard, no questions there. He's had a very interesting season. Actually, Trossard should be one of the contenders to start in the main team. But like I said, Martinelli has been very good. On the right wing, it is Reece Nelson who signed a new deal at Arsenal. So this is also going to be easy. And of course, at striking, as the centre forward, Eddie Nketiah. He's been a backup striker this season, and he's not actually done very poorly. I think at times I'm too harsh, and at times we are too harsh as a fan base on Eddie Nketiah. But that would be our second starting 11. So potentially, that is how Arsenal would line up next season. 2 starting 11s, very strong. The second one, which is Turner, Gabriel White, Tomiyasu, Tierney, Partey, Vieira, Smith Rowe, Trossard, Nketiah, and Nelson. That is a team that would win us 10 Premier League games. Like, I think that team beats Brighton. Sorry, doesn't beat Brighton, but it beats Luton. It beats Nottingham Forest. It beats a West Ham. I think we can put up a fight against West Ham, and can beat a few other clubs like Burnley and Sheffield, United, those promoted sides. And then, of course, our main team is going to be for the UEFA Champions League. How do you feel about Arsenal's next season's lineups? Are they nice? Do you think they guarantee us competition at the top level? And if they do not, what changes would you definitely make? Let me know in the comment box below.